Hey folks, it's me again. Let's go through this Sorcerer build that's all the rage these days. It's the Ball Lightning Orbital build. I have a little bit of a different take on it than other people, I think, but it's pretty much the same. I'll go through the basics for you first. The primary skill that you need, or the primary attribute that you need for this to work, is right here. It's the gravitational. What gravitational does is it causes your ball lightning, instead of just slowly drifting off in one direction, it causes it to rotate around you. This you probably already know. The motor that keeps this thing running is on this ring right here, and it's the recharging aspect. The recharging aspect causes chain lightning to bounce. Well, when chain lightning bounces to targets, it refunds you a certain amount of mana. And if you fire it enough, it will pay for itself. Except if you come down here to your enhancement skills and you look here at Chain Lightning has an enhancement that it fires automatically when you spend 100 mana. Okay, so you spend 100 mana, you get a Chain Lightning. The Chain Lightning creates you mana. This original Chain Lightning that was spawned costs 0 mana, so this is a purely mana generating event. The Ball Lightning costs, well, in this case, now it costs 46. I actually haven't checked to see whether or not I get worse performance from mana savings, but I'll figure that out at some point. But generally, in most builds, you have the mana cost of Ball Lightning being 50. And so you cast it twice in a normal build, and it rotates the two Ball Lightnings, and you slowly generate your mana back. And you can generally keep about 3 of them going at any given time in a normal build. But with this build, you're going to be casting Ball Lightning, which is going to be triggering the Chain Lightning, and the Chain Lightning is going to be refunding you resources. All the while, both of these skills are going to be critical hitting, which is generating the crackling energy, and the crackling energy refunds you resources as well. So it's a cycle. This is augmented by unstable currents. When you have unstable currents active as your ultimate, it's firing off just random electrical based attacks, which are also creating crackling energy, which are also fueling your casts. Now, since Ball Lightning is a mana cast, it doesn't have a cooldown. I mean, there are some mana casts that have cooldowns, but in this case, as fast as you can gain mana, you can fire off Ball Lightning. And it fires off, especially when you have unstable current, it fires off so fast, or you can fire it off so fast. It's kind of like what you used to see in vanilla Diablo 4 when you had the pylon benefit of infinite mana, where you could just fill your bar or just surround yourself with these Ball Lightning. Now, Ball Lightning also has, people call it a bug, but apparently it's as designed, where Ball Lightning has an insane damage multiplier, where it gets 200% bonus damage, 200% of your attack speed that is added as bonus damage. So it went from being a fairly nice damage creator to being insane. But the thing that really got this moving and why it's mostly a seasonal meme build, is this skill right here. When this skill, you have a 20% chance on a 20% chance on your hit to increase your attack speed by 40% of your total movement speed. In this case, my bonus is 57%. This is kind of crazy. This adds to my attack speed during the process. And since I have so many ball lightnings in place, I'm hitting so many hits that this 20% is essentially 100%. It's just constantly firing. So once I get an attack going, it just is firing. I'm able to fire off as many ball lightnings as I need. One change that I made, because most of these builds stack damage reduction on their gear. I'll jump over to gear right now. Most of them stack damage reduction on gear for damage reduction to stunned, damage reduction when fortified. And my current build is using this as kind of the catch-all for all of my damage reduction. And it's actually very similar to the unkillable necromancer that I built. And because with Temerity, this unique pair of pants, which dropped off the boss I'm about to demonstrate on. But the thing about Temerity is its special skill is when I heal above 100%, 44% of that will go to a barrier. So essentially, if I kick off my attacks early, or I put out a barrier early to make sure that it takes damage instead of my health, and then start firing off my ball lightning, the ball lightning will start to generate barrier itself. At which point, unless the boss can hit me for more than my fortify, my barrier, which actually, comparative to the necromancer, this barrier, I got a pretty low roll on the barrier generation, but still, it's like 3,000 or something, 4,000, 2,000 something of my barrier health, plus my fortify, plus my regular life. If he doesn't hit for all of that, I actually can get back to fully healed and barrier because of the very first vampiric power you get in the game, which heals me for 3% of my life on hit. And when you are generating as much damage as this guy does and hits as often as this guy does, he's healing very fast. So generally, I'll see a boss hit me, he'll drop me down he'll blow through my barrier, he'll blow through my fortify, he'll blow through most of my health, but then I just quickly, because I have all these ball lightnings active, I quickly just flash back to full everything. And it works pretty well right now. And I know that this guy, I'm going to fight the Galvanic Saint. He doesn't have anything I really need. I mean, he drops the pants, so maybe I'll get a better version of these pants. But he doesn't really drop anything I need. And quite frankly, I don't think that anybody drops anything I need anymore. It's just more getting things higher level and getting better rolls on things. I do have like all of my builds. All of my builds are pretty much 2 stats are going to be close to what I want, and the rest of them are not. And actually, this build earlier in the creation I was stacking the base damage reduction, the base resistances as high as I could, because I came into Act 4 low level. So instead of coming in closer to 70, I was a level 60, because that's just what this build does. I just blow through all of the enemies. The last boss to graduate from tier 3 to tier 4 was a joke. And so I came in at 60, and because I came in at 60 and everything In tier 4, there's always something that does some form of elemental damage, and I couldn't seem to dodge it or get out of the way. I was dying really quick, so I stacked all of my damage resistances. And so my damage resistances are, well, they're kind of low now, but they were all 70 because I needed that just to kind of stay alive. But other than that, I haven't really changed much about this build other than the pants. Once I got the pants, now I can pretty much walk through any of the regular nightmare dungeons up to, I think, right now, up to, I think, level 45 or so. I can just walk through them and nothing really hits me that hard because I'm constantly generating this barrier. But I did test this out just to see how a level 76 would deal with Uber Lilith. I didn't record it, but with Uber Lilith, I got about... It was my first time ever fighting Uber Lilith, and I got her about a third down on her first phase. So that's not bad. Definitely, once this character reaches level 100, she shouldn't be that much of a problem. I already know I watched the fights enough to know all the stages. So, and by level 100, with a better pair of temerity pants, I don't think that she's going to be able to blow through it, which is obviously famous last words. But it's just weird to be playing a sorcerer in Diablo 4 that is as tanky as this one can be. Anyway, the abilities, I'm just stacking. It's actually, this build is kind of what I would call the frost shock, if anybody remembers the old WoW meme of the druid, I believe it was, that cast frost shock. But I just have 3 panels open right now. This one is the one I'm just starting to build, and it is the Icefall panel. This part of the panels are not what you see in most of the standard builds, so I changed it up quite a bit there. I'm mostly focusing, because I have all of this damage reduction, I'm focusing on damage. Chilled enemies. I struggled for a while to figure out how I was going to expand beyond electricity, and then it dawned on me, because I get tunnel vision a lot, and it dawned on me that we have these other skills, these enhancements. So I was looking at a different sorcerer build for some inspirations, and this one was doing ball lightning, but it was not doing orbital ball lightning. But they did have enhanced frostbolt. Now, unless you have an item that gives you bonuses to your base or points in your basic, I had to spend a point on frostbolt to unlock it. But I don't really care about the damage, and I don't even cast frostbolt. I only have it there so that I can implement its enhancement. And if you look at its enhancement, direct damage from skill applies up to 15% chill. So that means that everybody who's hit by anything I cast will have some level of chill on them. So because they have chill, that will fire off 60% plus. I have a bonus here somewhere. Yeah, 10% non-physical damage. But anyway, it'll kick off 60% bonus damage because they're chilled. And that's a lot on top of all of the... Now the stun here, I got to figure out, because I don't have a mechanism right now to stun other than my basic attack. My basic attack will stun enemies, but I don't use it a lot. But when I hit them with the basic attack, I'm going to get 30% stun damage plus 60% chill damage, because it will chill them as well. I'm sorry, 60% stun damage and 60% chill damage. I should really learn my own build. And then just base lightning damage. and damage to elites. So it's a very damage heavy. I haven't put any points into any of the protections other than this base resist all, and I do okay. I'm going to fight the Galvanic Saint, who is an electrical build. So let's go ahead and do that now. Just because, I think I need to reset. And away we go. So generally the fight with this guy is going to be the fight with every boss. I'm going to kick off a ice armor, and once the ice armor kicks off, I'm going to cast my ball lightning. The ball lightning is going to start causing damage. The damage is going to start generating barrier, and from that point on, it's all downhill. Generally, the only thing you need to do with this guy is make sure that unstable currents is on cooldown when you kick off. Now watch, I'm probably going to die here, but when unstable currents is off cooldown, it greatly increases the amount of damage you do, because not only are you generating a whole bunch of ball lightnings or can cast ball lightnings very fast, but it's also shooting off every other shock-based skill that you have, and each one of those is causing its own damage and creating its own static charge, which I then pick up and charge my skills to do more. Anyway, this is it in action. You'll see here, he's going to start. I'm going to start picking up crackling energy, not static. And as I pick up the crackling energy, it starts boosting my damage. Alright, I had a weird thing happen there with my mouse. As you see, he hasn't even gotten through my barrier. And that's that. Hey, he dropped the pants. So that's probably temerity, since it's going to be class specific. So let's see if I got a better roll. Shard of Agony. Temerity. No. Ice Heart Breeze. That doesn't do me any good. I'm not an ice build. Actually, I got 2 of those now. Anyway, that's the build. Off to try out Duriel. I don't know that I'm going to have much problem with Duriel either. Even though Duriel has more health and is actually a poison damage, and I don't have maximum poison damage. So, who knows? Duriel will kill me or it won't. But that's this build. When it's done, it's going to be an incredibly tanky, super DPS build. And this will probably be the build that I end up taking on Lilith. Finally, I haven't taken on Lilith with any of my characters. But if and when I do, I'll record it and let y'all know how it goes. Catch you later.